Hello, Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we will understand about the body stretching rather than the high intense or running exercise. So the body stretching is the smooth. It can be via a massage from another person or itself. This body stretching benefit is more. So in this video, we will understand about the whole physiology and what will be change the physiology. So here is the stretching from the person. So this is the muscle will stretch. Remember, in this way the blood capillary will stretch also. So in this way the muscle requires the glucose, amino fat and vitamins, but less in the stretching rather than the high intense workout. So less nutrient required. In this way, the acetylcholine neurotransmitter will work more for the stretching, and in this way, the muscle will stretch. In this way, the acetylcholine from the presynaptic neuron will release to the in the neuromuscular junction. When the neuromuscular junction will bind with acetylcholine to work and basically compress the muscle, will lead to also the capillary compress, because the capillary compression is also important. This is the blood vessel contain lumen, narrow during the stretching, and endothelial cell will get the stimulus, lead to response. In this video, we will also understand about the response of the blood capillary, of the blood vessel, blood circulatory system. So the stretch muscle, whenever you will stretch the muscle, so we will understand about the cell. This is the cell of the myocyte. This is myocyte, and this is the blood vessel. The lumen will be narrow due to the compression of the muscle, and in this the compression of the muscle will lead to compression of the blood capillary. When the blood capillary will compress, so in this way the extracellular matrix contain calcium will move into the intracellular matrix, lead to contraction and relaxation possible. The compression will lead to narrow the capillary, and in this way the narrow the capillary will lead to give the response we will understand. But the acute response in muscle strength, muscle stretch, we will understand. So the capillary diameter decrease will lead to muscle blood flow decrease and the transient hypoxia, and this hypoxia will reversible rapidly. The myocyte contain DNA in the nucleus, and this nucleus DNA, the nuclei will divide, basically increase the nuclei, but in this exercise not more production. So the HIF1 alpha and vascular endothelial growth factor A expression will lead to increase to endothelial growth factor will bind with the endothelial growth factor receptor, lead to increase the blood flow due to the angiogenesis. The post-stretch hyperemia, again the oxygen provides normally, will lead to shear stress and excess blood in vessel. And in this way, the more stretching is not good, but the normally. Acute response in muscle stretch we are understanding. So in this way here you can see the vessel deformation. The vessel deformation is the capillary length. Basically the capillary length will increase, and narrow the lumen. So the lumen will contain blood, WBC and RBC. So the capillary length will basically increase, but the narrow the lumen will lead to calcium move inside, also the myocyte as well as the endothelial cell. This calcium influx, nitric oxide production will increase, will lead to, basically here is aging will decrease this hypertrophy. So the atrophy, endothelial nitric oxide synthase expression will increase, will lead to microvascular endothelial function due to the angiogenesis, because and vasodilation will occur, and the exercising blood flow increase lead to exercise capacity increase with the passage of time, again and again stretching. The stretch blood vessel, we will understand the physiology of the stretch blood vessel. No, because we are covering the all aspect of the stretching. So this is the stretch stimuli as a mechanical will lead to stretch of the blood vessel, the capillary, the endothelial cell will stimulate. But in this case, the lumen will be narrow. So the narrow of the lumen will trigger the endothelial cell function. What is the function? Let's understand about the physiology. What is the internal factor? What is the changes? So the stretch stimuli, the hemodynamic force, shear stress and basically normal stress will lead to endothelial compression, and in this way the blood capillary lumen will be decreased. Blood capillary lumen also trigger the some aspect we will also understand. Vascular endothelial cell disease, and in this way when it will stretch, it will endothelial cell will stretch, lead to vasoreductant factor increase to nitric oxide production, while the calcium move inside of the endothelial cell, and also the lumen diameter will be decreased. The lumen diameter will decrease to stimulate the calcium move inside the endothelial cell, also the muscle for function properly. The angiogenesis will occur due to the nitric oxide production due to the endothelial nitric oxide synthase enzyme increase. And in this way, the vasodilation will occur. The endothelial nitric oxide synthase enzyme will increase the nitric oxide for vasodilation and angiogenesis. Vasodilation and angiogenesis. And endothelin 1 produced from the mRNA. And capillary are aligned parallel to the long axis of the muscle cell. The muscle stretch to capillary stretch, remember, and more or less unknown. The aging reduce blood flow to the uh, uh, oxidative reaction. So the skeletal muscle, red skeletal muscle. However, the exercise training increase blood flow and vascular conductance during exercise, and the exercise correct the balance of oxygen supply demand and supply in skeletal muscle. So in this way, due to the angiogenesis, increase of the blood vessel due to the angiogenesis from the endothelian nitric oxide synthase production from the lumen diameter decrease will lead to increase the angiogenesis for the facilitate hyperemia, the oxygen, the prevention of hypoxia and hypoxemia. Let's understand about the effect of muscle stretching on exercise capacity in elderly. When you will age, what will be happen and how it should reverse. The oxygen delivery to demand, the mismatch resulting from alterations in skeletal blood flow. When skeletal blood flow will decrease, will lead to hypertrophy, the atrophy, the muscle will be weak. In this way here you can see this the mitochondria. So remember, when blood flow will decrease due to the less blood vessel, so in this way the hypoxemia will occur, will lead to hypoxia in the blood in the cell. Hypoxia means the in the cell oxygen deficiency, but hypoxemia is the blood circulatory system contain deficiency of oxygen. So due to the compression. So this is the glucose will convert into the pyruvate. So the less availability of oxygen will lead to lactic acid production. So the lactic acid and hypoxemia will lead to hypoxia in the cell, will lead to lactic acid production, and less ATP will trigger it to muscle fatigue. So the exercise will inhibit the hypertrophy. Remember, hypoxia will trigger the hypertrophy, the less muscle mass, but the exercise will inhibit and increase the muscle mass, lead to hypertrophy. The comparison of hard exercise versus stretching exercise is the hard training required the more oxygen, so the oxygen demand more, recovery required by sleep and diet, but stretching will less oxygen demand and not recovery required by sleep. Hard training require the hypertrophy, create the hypertrophy and risk of atrophy during quit the exercise. But the less hypertrophy will occur through stretching and no risk to atrophy when quit. While the hard training, basically production of more reactive oxygen species by catabolism and the oxidative stress will occur, and more nutrient required and muscle injury and break. While the stretching non-reactive oxygen species and decrease the toxicity and anti-aging it is and less nutrient required and non-injured cell and the basically and not break. In this way, the most important is the stretching than the hard training. But next video we will understand about the hard training and running. But in this video we have discussed about the endothelial function and the angiogenesis due to the stretching. Bye.